one of my direct subordinates, one of my guys that worked for me, he would call me up or pull me aside with some major problem, some issue that was going on. And he'd say, boss, we got this and that and the other thing. And I'd look at him and I'd say, good. And finally one day he was telling me about some issue that he was having, some problem. And he said, I already know what you're going to say. And I said, well, what am I going to say? He said, you're going to say good. He said, that's what you always say. When something is wrong and going bad, you always just look at me and say good. And I said, well, yeah, when things are going bad, there's going to be some good that's going to come from it. Didn't get the new high-speed gear we wanted? Good. Didn't get promoted? Good. More time to get better. Oh, mission got canceled? Good. We can focus on another one. Didn't get funded. Didn't get the job you wanted. Got injured. Sprained my ankle. Got tapped out? Good. Got beat? Good. You learned. Unexpected problems? Good. We have the opportunity to figure out a solution. That's it. When things are going bad, don't get all bummed out. Don't get startled. Don't get frustrated. If you can say the word good, guess what? It means you're still alive. It means you're still breathing. And if you're still breathing, well then hell, you still got some fight left in you. So get up, dust off, reload, recalibrate, re-engage, and go out on the attack. I've lived a life dominated by doubt and fear. How do you step into bravery? Step. That's how you step into bravery. Step. Take the step. Step aggressively towards your fear. And that step towards your fear is the step into bravery. Because we're scared of what we don't know. And there is only one way to learn and to know, and that is to confront that fear. You have to step, you have to go. And this simple action, this simple attitude, it answers so many questions. So many questions. How do you get to the gym every day? You step. You go. How do you change your diet? You step. You go. How do you overcome fear of failure or fear of success or fear of fear itself? You step. And how do you face the fear of the unknown? You step. Don't wait anymore. Don't think anymore. Don't plan anymore. Don't contemplate anymore. Don't make any more excuses or justifications. Don't rationalize anything else. No, no, and no. Instead, be aggressive. Take action now. And what is the first action that you need to take? What's the first step you need to take? The first step you need to take is just that. Step. You've lived a life dominated by doubt and fear. How do you step into bravery? Step. That's how you step into bravery. Step. Take the step. Step aggressively towards your fear. And that That step towards your fear is the step into bravery. Because we're scared of what we don't know. And there is only one way to learn and to know, and that is to confront that fear. You have to step, you have to go. And this simple action, this simple attitude, it answers so many questions. So many questions. How do you get to the gym every day? You step. You go. How do you change your diet? You step. You go. How do you overcome fear of failure or fear of success or fear of fear itself? You step. And how do you face the fear of the unknown? You step. Don't wait anymore. Don't think anymore. Don't plan anymore. Don't contemplate anymore. Don't make any more excuses or justifications. Don't rationalize anything else. No, no, and no. Instead, be aggressive. Take action now. And what is the first action that you need to take? What's the first step you need to take? The first step you need to take is just that. Step. I don't really like those words. Self-help or self-management or self-improvement. I don't really like what those words have come to mean these days. Because there's a lot of people out there that are constantly trying to improve themselves by looking for the one change. The one change, right? The one change in their life that's going to make their dreams come true. And even worse, on top of that, there's a lot of people out there, a lot of self-help gurus and these hyperactive motivational speakers and these other self-appointed modern Zen yoga warriors that they're trying to sell the one thing. They're trying to sell the 9 steps or the enlightened path that's going to allow you to unlock all of your human potential and fulfill the dreams so you can live the life that you've always wanted to live. Now, I'm no guru, and I definitely don't claim to be. I'm just a man. But I will tell you this, it isn't one thing. And it isn't 10 things, and it isn't 100 things. It isn't a quick path, and there are no shortcuts. And meditation won't get you there, and neither will a miracle drug or an organic supplement or some superfood. Getting better isn't a hack or a trick or a one change that you need to make. Getting better is a campaign. It's a campaign. It's a daily, a weekly, it's an hourly fight. An incessant fight that doesn't stop against weakness and against temptation and against laziness. It's a campaign of discipline. It's a campaign of hard work and dedication. It's waking up early and going to bed late and grinding out every second in between. Every single day. So, you want to get better? You want to self-improve? Stop looking for a shortcut and go find your alarm clock and find your discipline and find your guts and your passion and your drive and find your will. And then you will find your freedom. Getting asked this type of question, how do I get discipline, or how do I want discipline, or how do I maintain discipline? And the answer, it's a simple answer, but obviously it's not easy. And there's all kinds of little tricks and methods that people talk about. And, they have some merit. Maybe they do work, these things, do the little things people say and wake up early. I say that, and write things down and take cold showers and tell everyone what you're going to do. So broadcast it and make promises or make bets with your friends of something that you don't want to lose. And those things, those ideas, they're cool. I'm sure they're going to have some impact. And if they work for you, that's awesome. But the fact of the matter is that the reason discipline is hard to maintain is because it is hard to maintain. That's what makes discipline hard. It's hard. And if you hear me claim that discipline is easy for me, then straight up, that's just my ego talking. That's what that is. Because I'm, unfortunately, just as human as everyone else. And it is work to maintain the discipline. That's what it is. Work. Holding the line. Maintaining the standard. Giving no slack, none. That's the discipline. That's the discipline. And it is hard. And if there's one thing I would say that does make it easier, it's to envision what it feels like when you're done. What it feels like after you've worked out, or you've held the line on your food intake, or you've pushed through some monotonous project that you have to do, and all those things. When they're done, they feel good. And contrary to that, envision what you will feel like later when you let the discipline slack. You know the feeling. Feeling weak and defeated, and you know that you're falling behind. So get to know those two different types of feelings and ask yourself which one you want to feel in 10 minutes or in a half an hour. When the thing is done, when the discipline has been implemented. Remember what that feels like, and then remember that those minutes and those hours, they turn into weeks and months and years, and holding the line in those critical minutes will put you in an infinitely better place physically and mentally if you maintain the discipline.
I've been somewhat of a pushover for the majority of my life. Since listening to the podcast, I've been trying to assert myself more. One thing I can't seem to shake is constantly being interrupted. How can I rise above and overcome this obstacle?
All want to talk, and they all want to talk over each other, and they want to cut each other off. You get in that group right there, I don't talk.
Yeah.
I don't talk. I sit there, I listen to them, and I plot. And I think, and I put together my thoughts correctly so that when I do decide to say something, it's going to have impact. And then I wait for the right moment. Right? Because if there's people that are bickering back and forth, I wait for a lull in the fire. And when that lull comes, then I make my point in a very direct manner. I might even have to wait until the conversation is like all but over. Wait till they're done with their little firefight. Yep, 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 yep. And then I'm going to talk. Like they're done. And when I talk, I'm going to do it, since I've been thinking about it, it's going to be articulated in a way that I can present my full point. And so I think that's an effective way to do things. I I think if you let people speak a bunch, you let them get it out of their system, and then when you decide to talk, they don't have anything left to say. So that's a way to stop getting cut off. So this is almost like flanking, right? This is flanking the fact that when people have a bunch to say and they got all these thoughts in their head and they want to get them all out, let them get them out. Don't try and fight that battle. They've got a bunch of things they want to say, let them say it. Also, as we know, when you listen to someone else talk, you now know what their ideas are.
Yeah.
You know what they're thinking. There's a power in not saying anything because it allows you to think, and it allows you to hear what other people think, and it allows you to hear other people. So in a conversation, you get to hear other people's counters to what people are saying. And you're not having to expend any ammunition yourself. Someone else is doing it. You know, the third or fourth or fifth person in the conversation that's expending ammunition and running their mouth to try and counter some point that someone's made. Let them do that. Because by the way, then you get to see what the other counter is. So I think being assertive doesn't mean talking more. I think being assertive means talking less, talking at the appropriate times, monitoring and understanding the firefight that's happening so that when other people have expended their ammunition, you can step in and you can take your shots in a simple, clear, concise manner. It's like the little boy that cried wolf, right? If I talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, I'm taking away the value of each one of those statements that I make because I'm making so many statements that not all of them can have a high level of value. So who do you pay more attention to? The person that makes 100 statements? Yeah. And what are those? Okay, let's say you want to pay attention to the person that makes 100 statements. How much can you pay attention to those 100 statements? How much do you gather from those 100 statements? Yeah. It's a limited amount. Yeah. It's 1% per statement, right? Well, it's 1%. You have to, the guy makes 100 statements, that's 1% per statement. If the person says one thing, how much percent do you pay attention to that? 100%. That's right, you said it, 100%.
When I was I enlisted in the Navy out of high school. And I was the youngest guy I was the youngest and most junior guy in my first 2 SEAL platoons. And what I was doing was I was looking at my leaders and I was watching them. And I was paying attention to what they were doing. And I was paying attention to why we liked this guy and why we wanted to follow this guy, but why we didn't like this guy and we didn't want to follow him. The biggest characteristic I noticed of that was guys that were humble, we wanted to follow. Guys that were arrogant, we didn't want to follow. But that was one of many, many little lessons. And I paid attention to them. Once I moved into a leadership position, I knew that all those guys, they were watching me. They were paying attention to me. And I had to think about the way that they were gonna react to what I was doing. And I knew that my job was to lead these guys. And I knew that they were taking notes and they were monitoring and they were testing. And if I was arrogant, they weren't gonna follow me. And if I thought I knew everything, they weren't gonna follow me. I'm not saying I couldn't be confident, because you have to be confident. There's a balance, it's a dichotomy of leadership, right? But you have to pay attention to those around you, to the people that work for you, the people that you work for. And you monitor what they're doing, and you process what you would follow and what you wouldn't. And then you emulate that. That's what I did. And that's what I'm, most importantly, still doing today. When people ask me all the time, like, hey, do you ever take days off? And my answer is, I take days off. I don't schedule them, but days off happen. Why? Because life happens, right? Sick kid, water heater breaks, car has a flat tire, can't get where I'm supposed to be. Boom, guess what? You just bought yourself a downtime. Now, like travel day, I get some flights that are whatever, they can leave here at 6:15 in the morning from San Diego, and sometimes I had a late night. For me to get up at 3:30 to get a workout in, it's actually counterproductive. I'm smoking myself. So then I'll be like, okay, guess what? You just got a day off. It just came. That being said, people also ask me, what do you do when you're sick? What do you do when you're tired? You know what? And this is a real simple answer. Do what you can. Rudy, you were just telling me, you didn't have a chance to work out today. You're in the room over there doing push-ups. Why? Do what you can. You maintain that discipline. People want to sleep in on the weekends. Negative. Negative. Don't sleep in on the weekends. The weekends when you gotta hold the line. The weekends when you gotta hold the line. If you sleep in on the weekend till 5:45, well then guess what? At night, all of a sudden you have a little extra energy, so you stay up a little later. So then Sunday morning, you sleep in till 6:30. Now Monday rolls around, that alarm goes off at 4:30 and you don't feel like doing it. And you start this downward spiral, right? Now, hey, people, look, don't get me wrong, all right? You gotta sleep. You gotta sleep. Sleep is very healthy. It's good for you. What I am saying, you don't need to get up at 4:30. You don't need to do that. People have different schedules. You got your life going on. You gotta figure out what works for you. But I am absolutely saying don't be lazy. I am absolutely saying get on a regular pattern and maintain that pattern to the best of your ability.